Vitruvius Minor scratched his head. He was a Roman architect, but not a famous one. Everyone knew his great-great-great-great-uncle, Vitruvius. That Vitruvius wrote the book on architecture. Minor, well, he designed chicken coops and the occasional toga rack. Then big news. He got a real commission, a bathhouse. The pay was invisible. The messenger had whispered. Minor assumed this meant a lot of money. He pictured mountains of sestertii. He started sketching right away. Well, Minor had big idea. The baths would be magnificent. They would put his ancestors' work to shame. Well, maybe not shame, but they'd be pretty good. The site was smaller than Minor imagined, and muddier. Still, he forged ahead.
We shall call it the Baths of Minor.
The workers grumbled. They'd rather be home eating grapes. The plans were ambitious. Too ambitious. There was a grand entrance hall, even though the entrance was tiny. The hot room was vast, even with only one furnace. And the pools? Minor designed 7. Minor was sure it would all work out. He just needed to be creative. And maybe use a little magic. But don't tell anyone that last part. First problem, columns. Lots of columns. But marble was expensive. See, Minor's solution, living columns.
He announced.
He hired very tall, very strong men to stand in togas, holding the roof up. Next, the floors. Mosaic tiles were out of the question. Too pricey. Instead, Minor used mud. Shiny mud, he insisted. He made the workers polish it with their sandals. The workers weren't impressed.
This is the daftest bathhouse I've ever seen.
A grumble one. And he'd built a lot of bathhouses. Minor ignored them. He was on a roll. Then came Senator Plautus, the investor. He was a grumpy man with a big purse and even bigger opinions.
And fountains that spout wine. And statues. These baths better be grand. I want mosaics.
Minor panicked. He'd spent all the invisible budget on lunch. Thinking fast, he pointed to the mud floor.
See, Senator, mosaics. Very modern, very abstract.
Plautus squinted.
I suppose it is rather artistic.
He shuffled off, muttering about the state of modern art. Minor sighed with relief. Another crisis averted. Finally, the plumbing. The aqueduct was connected. Water gushed everywhere, well, except the pools. It seemed Minor had mixed up the pipes. The hot water went to the toilets. The cold water went to the furnace. It's self-cleaning, Minor declared, trying to sound positive. The workers just shook their heads.
Oh boy, this is a mess.
We're never going to fix this in time.
Maybe we should just call it art?
As the sun set, the baths of Minor were finished, sort of. They were definitely unique. Whether they were an architectural triumph, well, that was debatable. One thing was certain. Rome had never seen anything quite like them.